You owe yourself discipline, not distraction. In a world overloaded with noise, attention traps, and instant gratification, this truth is a weapon. Distraction is everywhere, scrolling endlessly through social media, binge, watching meaningless content, overanalyzing what others are doing with their lives while doing nothing with your own. Every second you waste on distractions, you're choosing to betray your future self. That version of you, the one with clarity, strength, and achievement, won't appear by accident. It demands discipline. Discipline is hard. It's waking up before the sun when no one else is watching. It's staying committed to your workout when quitting feels easier. It's pushing yourself to study, work, and build, even when there's no immediate payoff. It's saying no to what's easy so you can say yes to what's meaningful. You don't get results by doing what feels good. You get results by doing what needs to be done, and what needs to be done rarely feels easy. The distractions, they feel good in the moment. They seduce you with comfort. They lie to you. They say, take it easy. You deserve a break, or you'll start tomorrow. But the problem is, they compound. One wasted hour becomes a wasted day. One excuse becomes a habit. Suddenly you're drifting, not living. You feel empty, tired, resentful. Not because life is unfair, but because you've handed over your power. You traded your potential for entertainment. Discipline is the opposite. Discipline doesn't feel good at first, but it builds something real. Discipline creates momentum. It gives you pride, confidence, strength. When you consistently show up for yourself, when you do the hard things, you start to trust yourself. You become dependable, focused, dangerous in the best way. The kind of person who doesn't need permission, validation, or motivation. Just purpose. You owe yourself that, because no one else will hand it to you. Nobody is coming to make you get up early. Nobody will force you to eat clean, to train hard, to read, to grow. That's on you. That's your responsibility, and when you stop distracting yourself and start disciplining yourself, the entire trajectory of your life changes. Suddenly you have time. Suddenly you feel powerful. Suddenly you're building something that lasts. There will always be temptation to escape, to numb, to relax when you should be grinding. But if you choose to live distracted, you choose to live small. You choose regret. If you choose discipline, you choose growth. You choose freedom, because discipline isn't restriction. It's control. It's how you take your life back from the chaos. So cut the distractions, shut them down. You owe yourself more than that. You owe yourself discipline. Not for others, not for applause, for you, for your mission, for the life you're building when no one else is watching. Focus is a weapon. Use it against your weaknesses. Every person has weaknesses. Every human being has blind spots, distractions, and tendencies that pull them away from their mission. But the difference between those who rise and those who remain stuck is simple: the ability to focus. Not occasionally, not when it's convenient, but every single day, especially when it's hard. Focus isn't just a mindset, it's a tool. It's the blade you sharpen to cut through excuses, laziness, and fear. It's how you lock in, zone out the noise, and execute with ruthless precision. Weakness doesn't go away on its own. You don't get stronger by ignoring it. You get stronger by identifying it, confronting it, and using focus like a scalpel to carve it out of your life. Maybe your weakness is procrastination. Maybe it's self-doubt. Maybe it's lack of discipline or an addiction to comfort. Whatever it is, it won't fix itself. You have to go to war with it, and your weapon in that war is focus. When you focus, you strip everything unnecessary away. You stop giving energy to other people's opinions. You stop comparing yourself to people who don't even know you exist. You stop wasting time on scrolling, gossip, distractions that do nothing but drain you. You lock in, you take all your mental energy and aim it like a laser, because energy scattered is energy wasted, but energy focused, that's power. That's how progress is made. Focus is how you rewrite your patterns. You wake up and immediately choose to move with intention. You focus on the workout, the project, the mission, not the distraction, not the excuse. You direct your attention toward the uncomfortable thing that needs to get done. And in doing so, you starve your weakness. You starve it of time, of energy, of power. It shrinks. You grow. Most people lose because they're constantly distracted. They dabble, they multitask. They're everywhere but present. And that's exactly how weakness wins. But when you focus, deep, disciplined, and consistently, you flip the script, you get momentum, you build self-respect, you begin to shape a new identity, one that's not reactive but intentional. One that doesn't get pulled around by temptation but moves forward with purpose. Every time you feel yourself slipping, refocus. Every time your old patterns try to pull you back, refocus. Focus is not just what you do, it's who you become. A person who doesn't fold when it's hard. A person who doesn't run from discomfort. A person who sees weakness, feels it, and then chooses to overcome it. Use focus as your weapon. Sharpen it daily. Aim it with purpose. And strike your weaknesses down, because the more you focus, the less power your excuses will have. And in that space, strength is born. The world won't fix you, fix yourself first. That's the hard truth most people avoid. They wait for circumstances to change, for people to understand them, for the perfect timing or opportunity to arrive. But life doesn't work like that. The world is not going to pause and hand you peace, power, or purpose. It's not going to hand you discipline, direction, or drive. Those things are built from the inside out. Waiting for external change before you do the work is surrender. Fixing yourself is war. You've got scars. Good, you've got pain. Good, that's where the fuel comes from. Not the comfort, not the applause. The internal battles you fight when no one's watching. Those are the moments that shape you. You either confront what's broken and build, or you hide behind excuses and stay weak. That's the choice. People waste their lives blaming the system, blaming their upbringing, blaming other people. But accountability is where your strength begins. You might not be responsible for how you started, but you are responsible for how you finish. You might have been dealt a bad hand, but if you keep folding, that's on you. The second you take full responsibility is the second everything begins to shift. Because when you stop waiting for the world to change and decide to fix yourself, you reclaim your power. You fix yourself by being honest about your flaws. You fix yourself by showing up when you don't feel like it. You fix yourself by building habits, not fantasies. By doing the boring, gritty, thankless work every day that builds discipline, builds resilience, builds the kind of mindset that doesn't crumble under pressure. That kind of growth doesn't come from waiting. It comes from action. Relentless, uncomfortable, intentional action. And understand this, the world is watching, not to help you but to test you. You think you're going to get handed anything. You think someone's going to come save you, lift you up, make it easy. No, you will be tested, you will be challenged, you will be broken down to see what's left of you when the comfort is gone. And what's left, that's on you. That's what you've built. So stop asking for the world to be fair. Stop waiting for things to feel right. Start fixing what's inside, your mindset, your work ethic, your discipline, your standards. Focus on becoming the version of you that doesn't depend on circumstances. That doesn't need external validation. That doesn't flinch when life hits hard. You become the kind of person who stands tall, who endures, who leads, the kind of person the world can't ignore. Because once you fix yourself, you don't just survive the chaos, you command it. You stop reacting and start acting. You stop hoping and start building. And that's when the world starts to move, not because it changed, but because you did. Fix yourself first. That's the mission. That's the only way. Build in silence. Let the results scream. That's how warriors move. That's how professionals move. The loudest in the room is rarely the strongest. Real strength doesn't need to be announced. It's proven through action, through results, through consistency that can't be denied. The ones making the most noise are usually trying to convince themselves. The ones doing the work don't have time to talk. They're too busy executing, too busy becoming. When you build in silence, you remove the need for validation. You stop looking for applause and start focusing on progress. You trade attention for discipline. You stop wasting time explaining your goals and start investing time achieving them. You realize that the mission doesn't care how you feel. It only cares that you show up. Daily, quietly, relentlessly, the world is full of talkers. People who post every move, announce every plan, celebrate victories they haven't earned yet. But talk doesn't build. Attention doesn't build. Work builds, reps build, sweat builds. You don't need to prove anything to anyone but yourself. And you don't do that by being loud. You do it by staying locked in when no one's watching. silence is your shield. It protects your energy, it keeps you grounded, because when you stop broadcasting, you stop performing, you become real. You get raw with your weaknesses, honest with your flaws, and intentional with your time. You build habits instead of hype. You build systems instead of slogans. You stay under the radar so your results can rise above it. There's power in not being expected. There's power in being underestimated. Because when you build in silence, they won't see you coming. They'll think you're average. They'll think you're soft. Let them. Every time they sleep on you, let it fuel you. Let it drive you deeper into the grind. Because when you finally step out, it won't be with words. It'll be with results they can't ignore, strength they can't question, discipline they can't match. You're not doing this for attention. You're doing this for transformation. You're not here to impress. You're here to evolve. That evolution happens in the dark, in the early mornings, in the late nights, in the reps, the pages, the hours no one counts but you. Every brick you lay in silence becomes a wall of unshakable progress. Every step forward without an audience becomes proof that you're built for more than show. You're built to lead, so stay quiet, stay locked in, stay dangerous. The results will do the talking, and when they do, they won't whisper. They'll scream, they'll speak for every moment you stayed disciplined, for every sacrifice you made, for every day you chose the work over the spotlight. That's how you win. You build in silence, and when the time comes, the results speak so loud, the world has no choice but to listen. Distractions are thieves. Protect your mission. Every moment you give to meaningless noise, you're handing over a piece of your purpose. Distractions don't show up as enemies. They show up as comfort, entertainment, comparison, and convenience. They look harmless. They feel justified, but they are robbing you in silence. Robbing you of time, of focus, of growth, and of the momentum that could have taken you to the next level. If you don't defend your mind, you're giving away your future, your mission, your goals, your vision. They demand your full attention. You don't get to coast your way to greatness. You don't get to scroll your way to discipline. That dream you have, it won't survive if you're giving your energy to every little thing that pulls you off track. Because every distraction, no matter how small, is an interruption to the process, and every interruption is a break in the chain. Enough breaks and the mission collapses. You've got to treat your focus like a battlefield, guard it, defend it, build walls around it, because the second you let your guard down, the thieves creep in. One notification turns into 30 minutes, one quick break becomes a wasted hour, one excuse opens the floodgates. Before you know it, you're further from your goals, buried in regret, wondering where the time went. But the truth is, you gave it away. There's no neutral ground when it comes to discipline. You're either locked in or drifting. You're either attacking the mission or surrendering to distractions. And most people don't even realize they're losing until it's too late. They let the world dictate their schedule, their priorities, their energy. That's not how warriors move. That's not how high performers think. They eliminate what doesn't serve them. They cut off anything that doesn't align. They know what's at stake, and they protect it with everything they have. Protecting your mission means building routines that don't leave room for distraction. It means structuring your day around your priorities, not your feelings. It means turning off the noise, disconnecting from chaos, and locking in hard. It means choosing progress over pleasure, clarity over chaos, execution over entertainment. You weren't built to be average. You weren't meant to live on autopilot. You were meant to lead, to dominate, to build something meaningful, but you can't do that if you're distracted. You can't build anything that lasts if your focus is weak and your standards are soft. You have to decide what matters and defend it with fire. So every time you feel the urge to check out, scroll, drift, pause, ask yourself, is this helping my mission or stealing from it? If it's not helping, cut it. If it's not building you, it's breaking you. Distractions are thieves. Don't let them walk away with your potential. Stay sharp, stay focused, stay committed to the mission. Self-respect starts with self-discipline. It doesn't come from compliments, likes, or applause. It comes from doing the hard things when no one is watching, from showing up for yourself day after day, especially when it's difficult. You don't earn self-respect by taking the easy route. You earn it by facing resistance head on and choosing discipline anyway. The more you follow through on your word, the more you trust yourself. And the more you trust yourself, the more you respect who you're becoming. People want confidence, but they forget where it comes from. Confidence doesn't come from hype. It comes from consistency, from knowing deep down that you've done the work, that you've paid your dues, that you've sacrificed for your goals. That inner knowing can't be faked, bought, or borrowed. It's built in the silence of self-discipline. Discipline is waking up early because your mission matters more than comfort. Discipline is saying no to distractions because your future depends on what you do now. Discipline is pushing yourself when you want to quit, staying focused when you want to drift, and working hard even when results are slow. And when you live like that, when you live with that kind of intentionality, you start to walk taller, you start to think clearer, you look in the mirror and see someone you can respect, not because of perfection, but because of effort. Self-respect is not about being perfect. It's about being reliable to yourself. If you say you're going to do something, do it. If you set a standard, live by it. Don't cut corners. Don't make excuses. Because every time you break your own word, you chip away at your confidence. You weaken your identity. But every time you follow through, you reinforce your strength. You tell yourself, I can count on me. That's power. No one can give you self-respect, and no one can take it away once it's earned. It's not external, it's internal, built in private, forged through discomfort, strengthened by repetition. If you want to respect yourself, look at your daily actions. Are you disciplined with your time, with your words, with your habits? Are you doing what you know needs to be done, or are you avoiding the uncomfortable? The truth is, you already know what needs to change. You already know the habits that are holding you back. You don't need another motivational video or another quote. You need to execute. Because once you start making the hard decisions, once you start choosing discipline over ease, something shifts inside you. You start to feel proud of how you move. Not loud, not arrogant, just solid, grounded, focused, sharp. That's self-respect. And it starts the moment you decide to stop negotiating with weakness and start honoring your potential with discipline. The respect you're looking for from the world, earn it from yourself first, and that only happens one way, through relentless, daily discipline. Don't chase approval, chase excellence. The need for approval is a trap, a quiet addiction that steals your drive and chains you to the opinions of others. You move, speak, post, perform, not for growth, but for applause. You begin to measure your worth by reactions instead of results. And slowly, without even realizing it, you drift further from your mission and closer to mediocrity. Because excellence is never found in the comfort of approval. It's found in the discomfort of discipline, in the silence of sacrifice, and in the lonely corners of relentless work. Approval fades. One moment you're praised, the next you're forgotten. It's unstable, unreliable, and always outside your control. But excellence is permanent. Excellence doesn't need a stage. It builds its own. It doesn't demand attention. It earns respect. And respect, real respect, never has to be chased. It follows those who move with purpose, not popularity. When you chase excellence, you focus on doing the work right, not just fast. You care about the craft, not the credit. You hold yourself to a higher standard, even when no one is watching. Especially when no one is watching, because chasing excellence is a personal war. It's not about being better than someone else. It's about being better than the version of you that gave up yesterday. It's about looking in the mirror and knowing that you gave it everything. No shortcuts, no compromise. Most people won't understand that mindset. They'll ask why you're pushing so hard, why you're not relaxing, why you don't just enjoy life, but they don't see the vision. They don't feel the fire. They're chasing acceptance. You're chasing mastery. Let them talk, let them doubt. Your job isn't to convince them. Your job is to keep building. The moment you stop needing approval, you become dangerous, free, unshaken. You stop performing and start producing. You stop pleasing and start progressing. You no longer fear criticism because you know who you are and what you're working toward. You don't shrink for comfort. You expand through challenge. You rise through standards. That's what excellence demands. The truth is, not everyone will clap for your journey. Not everyone will support your grind. Some will misunderstand it. Others will hate it. That's fine. Let them, because you're not doing it for them. You're doing it for something bigger. For the future you've envisioned, the mission you've committed to, the legacy you're building, one disciplined action at a time. So drop the need to be liked. Drop the need to be seen, drop the need to be understood. Keep your head down, keep your standards high, keep chasing excellence, because when you do, the results will speak. The growth will show, and the respect will come, not from chasing it, but from becoming undeniable. When you focus on yourself, everything else aligns. It's simple, but it's not easy. Most people spend their energy chasing what's outside: approval, recognition, validation, trying to fix their circumstances before they fix their mindset. But the truth is, real change, real power starts within. When you commit to improving your discipline, your mindset, your habits, and your work ethic, everything else begins to fall into place naturally. The chaos outside doesn't disappear overnight, but your ability to navigate it grows stronger. You become unshakable. Focusing on yourself means taking full responsibility. No more blaming the system, the people around you, or your circumstances. It means looking in the mirror and owning your strengths and weaknesses without excuses. It means waking up every day with a mission to get better, not to compare, not to compete with others, but to outwork the person you were yesterday. That focus creates clarity. It cuts through the noise and distraction. It turns your attention inward to the one thing you can control, you. When you do that work, building discipline, refining your mindset, committing to growth, you start to see shifts. Your energy changes. Your confidence grows. You begin to attract opportunities because you're operating at a higher level. People notice your consistency, your dedication, your quiet strength. Doors open because you're ready to walk through them. You don't chase luck or timing. You create your own momentum. And when your foundation is solid, the external pressures that once overwhelmed you no longer have the same power. Challenges become tests you're prepared for. Setbacks become lessons, not excuses. Criticism becomes fuel, not defeat. You learn to control your reactions instead of reacting to control you. That's when alignment happens. Not because the world suddenly got easier, but because you got stronger. Focusing on yourself also means protecting your time and energy. It means saying no to distractions and yes to the work that matters. It means surrounding yourself with people who push you forward and cutting ties with those who drain you. It means creating habits and routines that support your mission, even when motivation fades. Discipline becomes your compass. The paradox is that the more you focus inward, the more your external world shifts in response. Relationships improve because you bring your best self. Your work improves because your focus is sharper. Your goals move closer because your actions become intentional. It's not magic, it's cause and effect. So stop looking outside for answers. Stop waiting for conditions to be perfect. Stop trying to control everything else. Focus on yourself. Build your strength, your discipline, your mindset. Put in the work. Commit to the grind, because when you do, everything else aligns. Not because life got easier, but because you got ready for it.